What's going on, people? Peace, patience, prosperity. I'm up just listening and watching, going through, a couple of channels that I go through. And I'm looking at the conscious community differently every year. I get less and less interested. It's like people don't understand what it is for a conscious community to be a community. It's not to be stubborn. It's for us to it's for us to accept the possible. Everything is not known. We sitting there fighting with each other, and that's all it is. It's a war. It's a fight. Like right now, it's a spiritual war, but it's gonna become physical at one. I mean, it's already verbal, but I mean, as your spirits are rising, we need to unite. Now, it's a lot of things that we talk about. Well, not we. Well, that you guys talk about in the conscious community. Well, I guess you could say we too, because we're all involved, regardless we know it or not. But as far as what we talk about, we need to talk about a conclusion, not argue. I mean, these debates are for the general purpose of finding a conclusion and coming to a mutual understanding, finding the right answer. So there should be no more argument. There should be no more debate afterwards. It makes no sense to me. Now it's a couple of people that do their research and that aren't on the scene, on the conscious scene, tough as far as in the streets and going to and doing debates and things like that. Because, well, in my idea, it's nonsense. We can research and we can understand each other through communication. I mean, the debates are they're entertaining. That's all it is. And unless we're using that the same way we use drums, the same way we use nature calls, the same way we use raps, different battles and things like that. If we don't have anything subliminal with inside these messages that you sending, that you telling everybody, then you need to figure something else out. I don't have the idea. Maybe I'll come up with something, but we need to figure something else out, because all we doing is going at each other's heads. We playing football with words, hockey with words, rugby with words, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's nothing nice. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to talk to the conscious community for a second. I know I talk about different things or whatever, but I watch. That's what I watch. I'm not perfect. But I'm looking at other people who are supposed to be inspiring, and that I don't. Anybody in their right mind will see that it's a lot of BS going on. So, if it's not natural, then you shouldn't even deal with it. All that fighting and stuff is not natural. All of that came about when people started taking. I mean, I don't know. Just, I don't know. Well, it's nothing new. I mean, you divide and conquer. We'll never be able to accomplish anything as long as we have this mindset to debate each other, to argue with each other, agree to disagree. You think because we cool with each other, it's all right that we sitting here with a lack of knowledge? You think it's all right that we sitting here with a lack of momentum? I'm saying, reactions create, for every action there's a reaction, and motion creates motion. So with that being said, where are we moving to? Like with these debates, we moving up to Beverly Hills. We moving up to gold chains, gold rings, bracelets, popularity, fame. Where are we going to? We still leaving people with an open mind. That's because we pushing each other away with these debates, with these different channels, with these, and yeah, personally, I believe yes, there were different tribes, there are different lands, however you want to call it, different places that people come from. And throughout time, yeah, we became different colors. And no, you weren't supposed to mix the wheat with the tares. No, you weren't supposed to mix, date outside your tribe, however you want to call it, because you're genetically encoded with codes. You're genetically encoded. You have a job. You're programmed. So with that being said, everybody who's mixed up, which is 97% of the people in the world, everybody who's mixed up, your DNA, your genetic programming is mixed up too. So get over it. Now, no, who has a tribe? Nobody. I'm saying now we are more closely related than ever. So check that out. You know what I'm saying? So all this arguing, this back and forth about I'm more conscious, or my my conscience is ascended higher than yours, or I'm more enlightened than you are, or my God's the right God. Psh, my God. Oh my gosh, no, my gosh. And when you meet yours, you tell him about mine. That's what it sounds like to me all the time. I'm saying, but if all of that really doesn't even matter, if we can have some peace, then that'll be the best thing for us. That'll be the best thing going on this planet. Just have some peace. All this back and forth, all this beating up on children. Well, I don't know what happened with that situation. I'm not even gonna speak up on it. I won't even say anybody's name for that. Well, I won't say anybody's name, period, because that's not what I do. I want people to understand that all this fighting, this bickering back and forth, this debating and all of that, that's for the birds. You know what I'm saying? And who you think giving you this information? Where are you allowed to go that hasn't been conquered, or that hasn't been burned and built back up? Where are you allowed to go that hasn't been destroyed and rebuilt? So who are you getting this information from? That's what I want to know. Yeah, you go out there and you make your own analogies, and you make your own ideas, and you come up with your own expression for what you've seen. But at the same time, did you see it all? What can you see? What can you see that hasn't been seen? And relate that to what we have going on. So we fighting about something. Etymology is very important. The origins of life is very important. But let's fix right now and find out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, while we looking back in the past, let's get each other right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's practice what we're preaching. Let's have some peace. Let's have some patience. I'm trying to learn peace, patience, and prosperity. I've been through enough. You know what I'm saying? We need to help each other out. Like, I don't mind helping people. I don't have too much, but a helping hand. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all don't have that, you know what I'm saying, you need to get off these mics and get off these cameras. You know what I'm saying? Leave it to somebody who's going to help somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I can't help everybody. We need other people out here to help people in that community. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, as well as physically, as well as financially. You can only do so much for someone who doesn't have it mentally. But make sure y'all out here helping and quit arguing like little girls, like, for real. So I'm not gonna make no long video or nothing. Don't try to make long videos. This is already long enough. So peace. Have some patience, and we'll all prosper. You know what I'm saying? Well-being to all.